Hello, friends, and welcome to a special Easter edition of the Boot Room. My name is Mark Heath, and with me to profile and break down this weekend's games, two of them, Stuart Watson, two must-win games, Stewie, at home against Bristol Rovers and away at Rochdale on Easter Monday, the two bottom teams in League One, and it's got to be 6 points, hasn't it? Do or die for Ipswich Town over this Easter.
I think so, yeah. Do or die, now or never. The games are starting to run out. We're down to 10 now. Ipswich need to win. Minimum 5 or 6, more likely 6 or 7 to get into those playoff places. Yes, they're only 2 points off the top 6, but there is traffic in their way. They're currently 11th. So these two games represent a really good opportunity to breathe a bit of life back into a stuttering season, really.
And you spoke to Paul Cook this morning. There's obviously always some injury news. Kane Vincent-Young went off injured last weekend. Just brings up to speed on the injury latest ahead of these two key clashes.
Yeah, a pretty vague update from manager Paul Cook. Didn't want to give too much away on the severity of Kane Vincent-Young coming off at half-time with that hamstring problem. So hopefully that means it's good news rather than bad on his front. And he did also add that there's a couple of other unspecified injuries as well that have been picked up. So shall wait and see at 2 o'clock tomorrow who those are. James Wilson should be close to coming back from his little minor knee problem that kept him out last weekend. Ollie Hawkins was on the bench last weekend and featured for the 23s on Monday, so a chance he could be involved as well.
We're not going to try and predict the starting 11s because clearly with that injury news being a bit vague, it's hard to do. But Stu, one of the things I do want you to do is try and predict what Paul Cook might do to try and get some goals from somewhere. One of the big problems at Town. Is he going to go 4-4-2, do you think, this weekend?
Well, twice now, unprompted, after the last two games, Portsmouth and Wigan, he's told us how tempted he is to go with Caden Jackson and James Norwood as a front two. Those two obviously dovetailed quite nicely at the start of last season. Haven't seen much of them as a pair since then because of injuries mainly. So I just wonder whether everything he said this morning suggests that he's going to come away from his 4-2-3-1, which hasn't worked so far. They haven't created chances and scored goals. Two up front might now be the route that he looks to go down, certainly for some short-term success. Whether that's as a 4-4-2 or as a wing-back system, that's another question.
Okay, and another question, the final question, Stewie, as ever, is prediction time. I've said it's 6 points or bust, do or die time. Are Ipswich Town going to get 6 points from these two games? I'm going to say tomorrow they're going to beat Bristol Rovers. I can see a 1 or a 2-0 at home against lowly Bristol Rovers, a team that are obviously struggling. But I fear Easter Monday, potentially in the snow at Rochdale. I'm afraid I can see that being a draw. So I'm going to say 4 points out of these potential 6. What about you? Tell me I'm wrong.
It's been 5 days since the 0-0 draw at Wigan, in which absolutely nothing happened. And I've managed to put that somehow to the back of my mind. And we're at that stage of the week where you can convince yourself that anything is possible. And for that reason, and that reason alone, just through blind faith and optimism, I'm going to say, yes, they can win both these two games. I know Bristol Rovers and Rochdale are scrapping for their lives, and people will say that that's not a good thing for Ipswich to be facing those teams, but they're down the bottom for a reason. And I think Ipswich will have enough to win both of these games.
There you go. Then let's hope Stewie's right. Have a great Easter weekend, everyone. Enjoy the game, eat lots of chocolate, and we'll talk to you again next time.